Peace, alafia, shalom, assalamu alaikum. To know thyself is to know your history, and I am your host, the last griot. And in this episode, we will be telling the story of the Aku people of Sierra Leone and Gambia. Before we get started, if you're new, please hit the like and subscribe button to stay in tune with all future content. I've been creating a playlist for both the Creole and Yoruba diaspora in Africa and abroad. For the Creole diaspora, so far I've done videos on the Saro people of Nigeria, the Americo-Liberians of Liberia, and the Fernandinos of Equatorial Guinea. For the Yoruba diaspora, I've done videos on the Creole people of Sierra Leone and the Tabon people of Ghana. Now let's get into who the Aku people are. If you ever hear me repeating information I've previously said in other videos, that's because this is my teaching style, repetition. And also for the new viewers who may be watching for the first time, that may not have the same context coming into our classroom today. So let's get into it. Just like the other groups I've listed and done videos on, the Aku were also descendants of liberated Africans. This means that their ancestors were illegally enslaved after the British abolished slavery. They would be placed on board slave ships en route to Brazil. These slave ships will be intercepted by the British and the captives will be resettled in Sierra Leone. If they weren't amongst the groups that had their ships intercepted, then they were amongst those who made the full journey to Brazil. These same Africans that were sent to Brazil would start an insurrection called the Mali Revolt, which would result in Brazilian authorities deciding to deport these rebels back to Africa, specifically to Sierra Leone, Gambia, Ghana, and Nigeria, where they would join the group who never left the African coast because their ships had been intercepted. Ancestrally, the Aku descend from various West African communities, but are predominantly from the Yoruba Muslim community and the Hausa people. This is why many of them still speak or retain the Yoruba and Hausa language today, as well as Yoruba names. When they were resettled in Sierra Leone, they would mostly begin to inhabit the Four Bay region, which is why they are locally referred to as Four Bay people in Sierra Leone, but ethnically known as Oku. Those who settled or migrated to the Gambia would become known as Aku, with a slight spelling variation in pronunciation. In Sierra Leone, it's spelled O-K-U, and in Gambia, it's spelled A-K-U. Those who went to Gambia would settle in the Banjul region. The reason they became known as Aku people is because the various greetings in Yoruba they would use amongst each other that all had the prefix Aku within them. Some examples of Yoruba greetings are Akule, Akujoko, Akuse, and Akuburo. The community excelled compared to the indigenous communities as they had the advantage of being better English speakers, and the British saw them as a way to spread Christianity and European values. Many were engaged in the fields of teaching, the clergy, clerical work, skilled building workers, and laborers. Some distinguished Akus emerged, such as Thomas Raphael and Thomas Joyner, who were both wealthy businessmen. However, the most prominent of them all was Edward Francis Small, who was at the leading edge of politics from the 1920s when he called for independence and self-rule and is regarded as the father of modern Gambian politics. The Aku community themselves were active proponents of nationalism throughout the sub-region. So today, the Aku are divided between the Sierra Leone and Gambian community, but still maintain their Yoruba traditions from Nigeria through festivals, dance, stories, and events. This is the story of the Aku people. Please like, comment, and share, then hit the subscribe button to stay in tune with more content. Peace.